Let's pay homage to the Buddha, fully enlightened one. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So today, the last day of the 10-day retreat. So today, I'm going to give the talk. The title of the talk is Birth and Death. Birth and death is what we are all the time experiencing in our surrounding. We are living between birth and death, even though we are happy with birth and happy with death. Even people, they are happy with birth, they are not unhappy, they are not happy with death. Now today I will talk about the death, what people don't like. But if we talk about birth, we have to talk about, if we talk about death, we have to talk about birth too. I want to point out that human behavior in the face of birth and death is indeed very strange. Why? At birth, when the child is born crying, people smile. Their faces shine with happy, delighted expressions. I repeat again. At birth, when a child is born crying, people smile. Their faces shine with happy, delighted expressions. But at death, when someone's last hour arrives, people cry. Their facial expressions convey sorrow and grief. These two behaviors strike me as very false. When someone is born crying, people smile, but when someone is awaiting his last hour, people cry. You know, when you were born crying, people surrounding you smile. You know, when you are awaiting your last hour, crying or smiling. So when you are awaiting your last hour, people cry. Whether you smile, whether you cry, people will cry. When they smile, you cry. When they cry also, you also cry. Is it good? How to do? Are you going to cry? Are you going to smile when you wait last hour? So today I talk about birth and death. I talk about crying and smiling. Actually, instead of only being happy and smiling at the birth of a new infant, we ought to also give careful consideration to what awaits that child. Why? Because he comes into a world that is a mass of suffering. He too will suffer. So, this world is a mass of suffering. Because of this reason, whoever reborn in this world, everybody suffers. So if a child is born, like all human beings, that newly baby is born for dukkha, not for sukha. So like all human beings, that newly born baby too will also be the cause of much dukkha for both himself and others. So we are born as humans. We are the cause of much dukkha for ourselves, and we are the cause of much dukkha for others too. That small baby will also experience the many different types of suffering that we ourselves have experienced in this life. He was born, he is therefore subject to sickness. Because he was born, he is subject to aging. Because he was born, he is subject to worry. Because he was born, he is subject to sorrow. Because he was born, he is subject to grief. Because he was born, he is subject to fear. Because he was born, he cannot escape death. These are lamentable conditions. Furthermore, because of ignorance, he may continue to accumulate more and more unwholesome deeds throughout the duration of his life. Most people accumulate a stockpile of unwholesome deeds over a course of lifetime. If he does, he may fall into one of the four woeful states upon dying. So it can be said that birth keeps one in bondage. Upon reflection, we see that birth brings along with it much suffering and pain. Even birth brings along with it much suffering and pain. People don't like to admit this. So among these audience, among these listeners, there will be many parents, those who have child, those who have daughter. So as a parents, they spend their life trying to provide for their children's welfare. They make themselves tired for their children. Are you feeling tired for your children? Not yet tired. Day by day, their bodies become older and older, weaker and weaker. Please don't forget, we are day by day getting older and older, weaker and weaker. Finally, one day, we die. Birth leads to death. It is inescapable. Our ending is guaranteed by our beginning. No one can avoid death. This is the dukkha, suffering that follows birth. This is the dukkha born of birth. It is natural for people to be pleased by the arrival of a baby. Nevertheless, birth is pleasing in large part only because people don't see or acknowledge the inherent dukkha that exists in it. Even though people know that humans are mortal, they don't want to experience their own mortality. Some people even think just to see a dead body is auspicious, so they try to avoid all such occasions. How do you think seeing a dead body is auspicious or inauspicious? I don't know about Korean people, but I have students who have actually never seen a dead body at any time in their life. When I teach them the meditation practice that is a recollection of death, I encounter difficulty. Why? Because in order to practice recollection of death, they need to take a dead body as their meditation object. When I give them the instruction, what do they say? I never saw a dead body in my life. Some say, in my country, seeing a dead body is considered inauspicious. How difficult it is to teach them recollection of death. Even though that is as much a part of life as birth, they have no direct experience with ever having seen a dead body. So when I teach them the recollection of death meditation, I have to search for photos of corpse to show them. Only then they are able to take a dead body as their meditation object. In contrast, whenever I see a corpse, I consider it an auspicious occasion. Why? It gives me the motivation to reflect on my own death. When I look at a dead body, I feel that I am seeing something undeniably real. What real? Undeniably real. It gives me an opportunity to think about the true nature of the body. This has been my experience ever since I was a young boy. Whenever I saw a dead body, it made me think. Whenever I set eyes on the ugly, repulsive complexion of a dead body, I also looked at my own complexion and felt as if it changed. I knew my life would end, that I too would die. Even then, at that young age, I felt that life is futile. A sense of urgency arose in me, but because I was still very young, I didn't know what to do about the contradictory feelings of futility and urgency. As I grew older, they became an important part of my practice. So we can say that seeing a dead body is really an auspicious occasion. Do you want to see dead body? Do you like to see dead body? Have you ever seen dead body? Do you want to practice recollection of death? Do you know you will die? Do you know how you will die? This is a question, many questions you have to ask. So it is in fact an opportunity to reflect deeply for those who have wise attention. But, I will repeat again, seeing a dead body is really an auspicious occasion. It is in fact an opportunity to reflect deeply for those who have wise attention, but is lost on those who don't have wise attention. People with unwise attention, when they see dead body, they don't want to see. They feel repulsive, so they run away. But for those who have wise attention, it becomes an opportunity to reflect deeply, to be able to understand the true nature of life. In fact, seeing a dead body is an opportunity for liberation. In the Buddha's time, he had many disciples who, because of seeing a dead body and meditating on death, were able to make an end of suffering. So, seeing a dead body is truly an opportunity for our liberation. We all must take this opportunity. Here I want to share my experience with all of you. One of the main causes leading to my ordination was seeing a dead body. The mother of one of my students had been ill for a long time. I was one of her caregivers. While she seemed to improve from day to day and it appeared as though she would recover, after some time her condition declined and in the end she died. At that time I wasn't thinking about my own death. I was totally focused on trying to build up my life. I was working to earn money. I was working to accumulate wealth. It was easy not to think about my death when I was so hard at work collecting things to inflate and improve my life. But when she died, it was a wake-up call. A sense of urgency arose in me very strongly. We had taken very good care of her, providing her with the most excellent medicines, good food and good accommodation. But nothing could save her. When her time ripened, she died. Even though we gave her the best and the most expensive medicine, and she appeared to be getting better, in the end, her condition unexpectedly changed and she died. She was not very old, she was still young. Are you young or old? Okay, that is certain. Life is uncertain. So our death took me by surprise and gave rise to a feeling of urgency in me. I understood then that one day my life would also end. I too would die. But of course, I didn't know when I would die, where I would die, and how I would die. You know when you die, you know where you would die, and you know how you would die. Nobody knew. I wonder how long will I live. I didn't know. I reflected, death is certain. Life is uncertain. I will surely die. My life will end in death. But I don't know when and where I will die. I consider the possibility that I could fall into one of the four woeful realms. Just the thought frightened me. I suddenly knew that I wanted to be free from suffering in the four woeful realms. The question of how then filled my mind. I realized that I needed to change my way of living while I still had the time and opportunity to do what I needed to do. Now we have time. We have an opportunity to do what we need to do. When we are getting old, we lose all the opportunity. I realized that changes were needed now before I died. At that time, the sense of urgency that filled me was overwhelming. It was so strong, I didn't want to do anything but practice meditation. Not long afterwards, I found myself in robes. This personal story illustrates why seeing a dead body is really an auspicious occasion. It is a wake-up call, a teaching that points to liberation, to freedom from suffering. If we see with wise attention, we will be inspired to do good things and to practice with determination and diligence. Whenever we see a newly born baby, we know that between his or her birth and death, that human being will come into contact with a lot of expected and unexpected, desirable and undesirable things. So we all experience in our life a lot of expected and unexpected, desirable and undesirable. So too, the newly born baby will experience the same as we. Although we are happy to see birth, most of us do not want to think about meeting death. But if the truth be told, seeing a dead body is an advantage to someone who reflects well on it. If we talk about death, we must talk about causes of death as well. Some die when they are young, some die when they are old. Why? The Buddha explains why in the Abhidhamma. There are four causes. First cause. Some die due to the expiration of their lifespan. In Pali we call Ayukkhaya Marana. Second cause. Some die due to the expiration of their reproductive karmic fruits. In Pali we call Kammekkaya Marana. The third cause. Some die due to the expiration of both reproductive karmic fruits and lifespan. In Pali, Ubhayakkhaya Marana. Number 4. The fourth cause. Some die due to destructive karma. In Pali, Uppachedaka Marana. So the fourth cause, it is meant they may die in an accident. Their lifespan still remains and their karmic fruit still remains. But because of destructive karma, they are destroyed and they die. We all remember how short and frightened people because of the giant tsunami that in the year 2004 killed so many people. Thousands upon thousands were either injured or swept away in that natural disaster. Even today, we don't really know how many people were affected by the destructive force of that killer wave, young and old alike, rich and poor. Whether young, whether old, whether rich, whether poor, if a karma ripens, if we have destructive force of karma, so that will give its result. We will die earlier. It was a colossal tragedy, the result of destructive karma, the full cause of death. You all heard, you all knew recently a strong cyclone hit Myanmar. 16 villages with all villagers in Bogale Township in the Yangon division disappeared in the storm. How many villages? 16 villages with all its villagers all disappeared. It is in the township of Bogale, in the division of Yangon. It is not only because of the strong wind but also of huge waves that no one could run and die. The latest news told that 100,000 people died and many are missing. It is also closer to tragedy, the result of destructive karma, the fourth cause of death. Who knows? We can avoid experiencing such type of karma or not in our life. Nobody knew those who are living there. In the night, cyclone, very strong one, hit that region that nobody could do anything. They are swept away in the huge wave by this storm. So among those who died, for sure some will be very newly born baby, then we include there. There may be very young people, there are many young people and there are many old people alike. They all die without knowing. Sometimes maybe somebody may be soundly sleeping at that time. This is the result of destructive karma. But according to the Buddha's teaching, nothing happens without causes. Whatever happens, there is their causes. Even it is a tragedy if we understand the law of karma, so we can comfort our mind. So nothing happens without causes. Because of this reason, Buddha said, beings are the owner of their actions, heirs of their actions, born from their actions. Actions are their king, and actions are their refuge. Because of their actions, some die young, some when they are old. Actions distinguish beings. Everyone dies because of one of the four causes previously mentioned. Some die because of expiration of the lifespan. Some die of expiration of the reproductive karmic force. Some die of the expiration of both, and some die of destructive karma. We don't know we will die because of expiration of our lifespan, or we don't know we will die the expiration of reproductive karmic force. We also don't know we will die of expiration of both our lifespan and reproductive karmic force. Also we don't know we will die of destructive karma. So we know not how when and where we will die. Even though we don't know it, our ending is guaranteed by our beginning. Let me tell you a story which appeared in the Samyutta Nikaya. In the Buddha's time, there was a Deva, Subrahma, who was happily abiding in the Deva world with a retinue of 1,000 female Devas. Have you ever heard the story of Subrahma? Okay. In this story, Subrahma was sitting under a tree in the Nandana group among 500 female Devas. The other 500 had climbed up the tree. Maybe they like climbing up the tree in their past life. Huh? Maybe they have been a monkey, I think. Why did they climb up the tree? They were singing and throwing flowers down from the tree. Those female Devas who remained under the tree with Subrahma gathered up the flowers and made wreaths of flowers for him. His companions were all happily singing and dancing, but suddenly Devas up in the tree stopped singing. There was silence. Subrahma wondered what happened. He looked up and saw that the tree was empty. 500 of Subrahma's female companions had simply vanished. The desire to know where they went arose in his mind. When he looked for them with his divine eye, he discovered that they had suddenly died, but were immediately reborn in the Aviti hell. It is a very terrible hell. 500 female devils from his retinue who were happily singing and throwing flowers down from the tree suddenly died and fell into that terrible hell. As you know, separation from those whom we love is suffering, no less so for devas. Subrahma felt very, very sad. He suffered very much. He felt intense grief. At the same time, heedful attention arose in him. He examined his own lifespan and saw that he himself, along with the remaining 500 female devas, were due to die in 7 days, and that they also would take rebirth in the same hell. Let me ask you a question. What do you think? Which grief would be greater? The grief that arose in the young deva's mind when he was separated from those original 500 devas whom he loved, or the grief that arose in him when he saw that he and his remaining retinue were going to suffer in the same hell soon. First one is separation from those whom he loved. The second one is his own death. For sure, the stronger grief would be that which arose in him for himself and his remaining retinue when he saw the coming terrible suffering that they all also headed towards. Before he suffered for those whom he loved and lost, now he suffered for himself. Intense grief arose in his mind. The fear of suffering in hell is so deep-seated and terrifying that a sense of urgency immediately arose in him. Driven by this sense of urgency and in absolute fear, Subrahma went to see the Buddha and asked for comfort and help. In the presence of the Buddha, he recited this verse: always frightened is this mind. The mind is always agitated about and arisen problems and about arisen ones. If there exists release from fear, being asked, please declare it to me. Even though devas are normally very happy, Subrahma was now anxious and terrified. His fear was so dreadful and continuous that he uttered the words, always frightened is this mind. The mind is always agitated. He was concerned about both recent problems and the recent ones. In this case, the recent problem was the sudden death and shocking destination of the 500 female devils of his retinue. The unarisen one was even more problematic, his own imminent death and descent into hell along with the rest of his remaining retinue. So motivated by a sense of urgency, he asked the Buddha to make known the way to release. The Buddha instructed the Subrahma that meditation practice is a source of comfort. So strong was the Deva's sense of urgency that, having had it, he and his retinue penetrated the Buddha's meaning, and at that moment they attained stream entry. They become Sotapanna. Here I forgot to write down one stanza. Before Buddha instructed meditation practice, he recited one stanza. So there is an explanation about how to practice meditation. Hearing it only, they attain stream entry, Sotapanna. They were all completely free from suffering in the four woeful states. So Sotapanna path knowledge removed the defilement that would subject them to suffering in any one of those states. How wonderful the Dharma is. Here we all need to think about the chances of being reborn in one of the four woeful realms compared to being reborn in one of the happy realms. Remember, 500 female devas up in the trees. Suddenly they die. They fall into the great hell. When the Subrahma looked, or considered, or looked where they disappear, he saw that they fall into the great hell. Also, he and his remaining 500 female devas will die within 7 days and fall into the same hell. So seeing beforehand, before they die, so within 7 days they approached the Buddha. They asked the way to release from such dukkha. After hearing the Buddha's instruction, they all attained Sotapanna. So they all had chance to be reborn in the hell. The chances of being reborn in four realms, the chances or the opportunity to be attained, to be able to attain Sotapanna. You have also two chances. Chances of being fall into the four realms. The opportunity to make attain Sotapanna. Which one do you choose? See? Now you must think. You may remember in my earlier talk what are humans doing. I quoted from the sutta wherein the Buddha asked a group of his monks, which is greater, a little bit of soil on the tip of his fingernail or the soil of the great earth? The answer, of course, was the soil of the great earth. According to the Buddha, just as the soil of the great earth is more than the soil on the tip of his fingernail, many more people are likely to fall into one of the four realms when they die rather than being reborn in one of the happy realms. Samsara is without a discoverable beginning. For uncountable lifetimes we have all been accumulating both wholesome deeds and unwholesome deeds. Unfortunately, most of us accumulate more unwholesome deeds during our lifetime than wholesome ones. If we don't practice meditation before we pass away, if we don't prepare for death, why there is still time to do so? We can't penetrate the Dharma as we really are. Therefore, we too, just like those 500 female devas, we fall into one of the four states upon our deaths. So Brahma and his remaining retinue of devas foresaw that they would suffer in the hell unless they changed their way of living. Urgency arose in them. In the same way, if we knew that we would die in 7 days and suffer in hell, will we change our way of living, or would we focus on meditation practice in order to be free from such a destiny? If you are going to die within 7 days, will you tell me, one day I need to go back home? You will not tell me. Should all reflect it. But now you are heedless. Maybe you think you will live long. So the Buddha pointed out to his monks that the way to deathless is brought forth through mindfulness on death. So the Buddha said, monks, mindfulness of death, if developed and cultivated, brings great fruit and benefit. It unites in the deathless, ends in deathless. Therefore, monks, you should develop mindfulness of death. Here I want to quote words of the Buddha. According to the Buddha, those who have not practiced meditation on death tremble and fear when their last hour comes. According to the Buddha, those who have not practiced meditation on death tremble and fear when their last hour comes. They die confused, often screaming in terror, much like a man without stick is stricken with fear when he expectedly sees a snake on his path. Those who practice meditation on death have no cause to fear when their last hour arrives. They are like a steadfast man who, seeing a snake, even at a distance, takes it up with his stick and throws it away. If we reflect on death while there is still time to do so, each day, every morning and every evening, we will gain great benefit, which we will be glad about later. Therefore, practice meditation on death. The Buddha said, mindfulness of death, if developed and cultivated, brings great fruit and benefit. It ends in deathless. Therefore, monks, we should develop mindfulness of death. If we reflect on death, such as death is certain, life is uncertain, I will surely die, my life will end in death. Every day, every morning, every evening, every night, heedfulness will arise and right attitude will follow. Every morning when you wake up, we should reflect. Death is certain, life is uncertain. I will surely die, my life will end in death. Lunchtime to evening time, night time, so every day, every night. If we do so, heedfulness will arise and right attitude will follow. How beneficial reflecting the dead. It appears in the teaching of the Buddha, but I have no time to explain about that story. I just say it is really beneficial to practice the collection of the dead. Without mindfulness of one's own certain death, people become heedless. If people really accepted that they too would sooner or later depart this life, they would be more heedful and not be so proud and full of self-importance. If it is more likely that they would be humble, and it is more likely that they would live humbly. If they reflect on their death every day, they would be gentle. Their minds would incline towards wholesome actions rather than unwholesome actions. They would mostly choose to do wholesome actions. So every day we should reflect and meditate on death. We should diligently and systematically practice recollection of death. Even I want to explain how to practice systematically recollection of death, no time. But generally I will say, every morning, reflecting or recalling the dead body you have seen before. And then death is certain, life is uncertain. It is sure my life will end in this way one day. I can't avoid experiencing it. In this way, if you reflect, it will be for the benefit of you, for the realization of Nibbana. Do you really accept your death? We know you will die. You know you will die. People know they will die. They are afraid to experience the mortality. We can say that it is not accepting. So to be able to accept it, how to do? We need to reflect every day. Because of reflecting, death is certain, life is uncertain, my life will end in this way one day, I can't avoid experiencing it every day. As if you accept your death. So death is with you all the time. That if death comes, so you will not be troubled like others, those who don't reflect. One day we will surely die. Remember, the day we were born, we were crying while others smiled. But on the day of our death, others will be crying. We have been crying. We have cried. When we were born, we cried and others smile. When we die, how should we be? We were born crying, while others smile. When others are crying, we must be the one who can smile. When other people are smiling, we cry. When other people are crying, we also crying. So it will not be okay. There is the opposite. Crying and smiling. And then crying and smiling must be. Should we participate with those who are crying when we are waiting our last hour? We should not. Okay, if we practice diligently and become noble ones, we will not depart this life crying. We will die smiling. May you all practice recollection of death. May you all be able to die smiling. May you all attain Nibbana, the deathless, in this very life. May all of us strive diligently for liberation. May you all attain Nibbana.